What's going on, everyone? How are you guys doing? It is January 22nd, and we just finished up with another episode of Friday Night SmackDown. We are nearing the Royal Rumble here, and we only have one more episode of SmackDown until the Royal Rumble. But anyways, how are you guys doing tonight? What did you guys think of tonight's show? Did you love it? Did you hate it? Was it meh? Was it good? Let's see. Siraj, how you doing, my friend? Shanak, how you doing, my friend? I probably butchered your name, but welcome to the show. Flash, how you doing? Vance, Raphael, Safa, La, how are you doing, my friend? Good to see you. Alex, Logan, Obi, James, JB2, Joshua Wilson, Marcel, Josh, Nick, how are you guys doing? How is everyone doing? Let's see here. Show was bearable. Yes, I would agree with that one. Logan says Cesaro for the Royal Rumble win or Nakamura. I'm still going Daniel Bryan, man. I am still going Daniel Bryan. For me personally, that's my pick. Baby says, what do you think Roman's new theme should be like? I have no idea, to be honest. I have no idea. Something different for sure. I think I would like for it to be a bloodline theme, to be honest. So maybe when Jimmy comes back, they can debut the music there. I think that'd be pretty cool. I think that would be pretty cool. Kevin Owens kicking Reigns' ass was awesome. Yeah, that was a good way to end the show tonight. Good way. Marcel says SmackDown is the most overrated show. People say SmackDown can't be touched, and it's the best show on TV. Like, what am I missing? I wouldn't say that it can't be touched, but it is certainly one of the superior. Well, I mean, you can't really be that much superior when there's only two shows, but for main roster WWE, for the most part, man, SmackDown is light years ahead of Raw. Maybe that's where they get that from. I'm not sure. I'm doing good, Josh. Hope you're doing good as well. Hey, Nick, how are you doing? Flash says, welcome to the award-winning and critically acclaimed AOW SmackDown post-show. Absolutely, 100%. Get some moves in there for that. JVOJ, how you doing, my friend? Good to see you. I enjoyed it besides the Sasha and Reginald match and the women's tag. Yeah. I wasn't a big fan of the Intercontinental Championship stuff, though. Raphael says, what happened to the excitement? We are 1 week away from the second biggest show of the year, and 3/4 of what happens has no relation to the show. Why is there no build? I don't know, man. That's what I'm trying to say. Where is the Royal Rumble hype? Where is it? Like, I'm not even really hyped for the Royal Rumbles. Not at all. Obi James says, is tonight's show sponsored by Progressive? No, why would you say that? Tonight's shows are going to be sponsored by my own damn gaming channels. Eventually, that's what's going to happen. Shelvis, how's it doing, my friend? Good to see you. Clichéja, I thought it was all right. It wasn't the greatest thing in the world. It certainly wasn't the worst thing in the world. It was easy to watch. I'll say that. It was easy to watch. I didn't really go away feeling dumb. Didn't really go away feeling insulted or anything like that. It was just a show for me, pretty much. DeQuaver says, I wish they had this energy on Raw. What a show. Man, I honestly think that the third hour of Raw is a huge detriment to that show. I really do. If Raw was 2 hours long and they got rid of that final hour, I think it would be much, much more tolerable. I mean, it's still absolute garbage, but in a 2-hour setting, it is much, much more tolerable. That's just my opinion, though. I don't know. I feel like if SmackDown was 3 hours, we'd probably mostly be feeling the same way as well. Safa says, at first, I hated the DQ, but it's one of the few times it actually made sense. And I said this to someone in my comments. This is what I always say this on the post shows. I always talk about stuff like this, about there being a time and a place for everything, right? Sure, there's absolutely a time and a place for a disqualification. You could argue that a disqualification fits here. No problem with that. But since they do them all of the time, multiple times per show. They really lose their effect, and that's where I am on it. I'm not thinking like, oh, okay, you know, this can possibly make sense. This isn't the worst thing in the world. I'm just like, wow, again? Really? Like, again? I'm so tired of seeing these. So that's where I'm coming from for that. I really wish that they would. I mean, they've really lightened down on them quite a bit. So maybe there will be a time here shortly where I don't feel that way. But typically when I see a disqualification, man, it's just like, come on. Sami Zayn and KO, tonight's heroes, changed my mind. Man, I would love to see Sami and Kevin Owens feud again. Bryan, how you doing, my friend? Thank you for tuning in. Vange says, hey, Aleister Black appeared on this week's main event. Get him back to NXT. Did he really? Aleister Black was on main event? No. That's so weird. Dude, what is up with WWE tonight? Today is super weird. So, okay. So SmackDown this was a really weird episode of SmackDown. There was a lot of weird stuff going on tonight. Then tonight's 205 Live, which is happening tonight as well. It has women on it. So you're seeing the debut of, oh God, I'm going to butcher these names because I don't remember them. Seeing the debut tonight of Gigi Dolan and Cora Jade. They're facing off against Indy Hartwell and Candice LeRae on 205 Live, which is really weird. And then also Timothy Thatcher and Tommaso Ciampa are taking on Tony Nese and Arya Daivari on 205 Live. Last week, Drake Maverick and Killian Dane were on 305 Live. It's so weird. I don't get it. I don't get it. I do not get it at all. Hoodie, how's it going, my friend? Good to see you. Welcome back. Welcome back. Hope you had a great day. Leroy says, I heard a rumor that John Cena was facing Goldberg at WrestleMania. That would be interesting. That'd be interesting. I mean, I would be less mad at that, but I don't really see what kind of purpose that serves. Clifton says, is Nakamura going to help KO win at the Rumble? Interesting. I really don't think we're going to see Roman Reigns get dethroned quite yet. Not quite yet. Especially with the news today. If you didn't hear this morning, WrestleVotes made a post saying that I'll just read the tweet out loud. Once a decision was made to run the 2-night card for WrestleMania, the creative team started working on bigger ideas. Thoughts is WWE now needs 4 major matches, 2 per show. That probably requires assistance from big names like John Cena and Goldberg that are nearly locked in. They're trying to get The Rock, which is unlikely, and The Undertaker is to be determined at this time. They also followed that up with another tweet saying that most of the locker room believed that The Undertaker was completely done and to not expect to see him at WrestleMania. So very interesting. If they could get The Rock for this year, this is the year, man. This would be the perfect year for Roman Reigns versus The Rock for the Universal Championship at WrestleMania. That would be absolute flames. Absolute flames. I'm not quite sure that they could hold off until 2023 with this. Roman Reigns is on a next level right now. He cannot be touched. So to be able to keep up that pace for 2 more years, I don't know. Detective AOW, would you love babyface Rollins versus Big E for the Intercontinental Championship at Mania, or just me? I'd be fine with that. I would be fine with that. I'd be looking forward to Seth Rollins' return. It's been a while since we've seen Father Rollins. I'm not quite sure what capacity we would see him in, though. Is he going to be Father Rollins? Is he going to be Burn It Down Seth Rollins? I'm not sure. OB James says Cena versus Goldberg is what Goldberg should be doing, just one-off matches with someone random. I mean, if you're going to put someone like Goldberg in the ring on your TV, what they should really do is actually bring him back. Don't bring him back for 2 shows. Bring him back for like a month or 2, right? Have him show up, have him feud with someone, Have them maybe not wrestle, but kind of go back and forth with promos or being attacked or yada yada yada. You know the ropes, right? Of carrying on a feud. Have him wrestle a match with someone and have him put someone over. Come on, right? That's how they should be doing this. Have a Gold come back and be a mentor to someone. Have him be like, hey, I see a lot in you. I see a lot in you. You remind me of myself when I was younger. Let me show you the ropes. Let me show you how to do this. Let me, show you how to dominate. Just anything other than just coming in and taking world championship slots at the biggest stages of them all. Like, of course, there's no credible challengers because these are the reasons why. These are the exact reasons why. Logan says 3, 2, 1, burn it down. Number 30 is Seth freaking Rollins. That'd be crazy. I would expect a huge pop for that. And if you guys don't know, WWE is planning on trying to put 25,000 people in, I think it's Raymond James Stadium in Florida for WrestleMania's nights 1 and 2. So I've been told that stadium holds about 80 to 90,000 people. So 25,000 is probably very possible with spacing and stuff like that. So 25,000 people, that's a lot of noise to get made. Marcel says, so let Goldberg be Sting. Yeah, I mean, essentially, I just think that that's what those people should be doing, especially if they're not actually coming in to work. Like, even for Gold, like, he's literally going to show up twice, 3 times. He's going to show up twice, and then he's going to wrestle at the Royal Rumble. And then he'll probably, I mean, depending on what happens, because we still don't know quite what's going to happen at the Royal Rumble. If Gold does not win at the Royal Rumble, he's probably just going to show up like one night before he's on the WrestleMania card. If he does win the WWE Championship at the Royal Rumble, he's probably not going to be on all 4 nights of Raw. Certainly not. So I don't know. It's just frustrating when they bring those part-timers in to do these type of things, and in the end, no one really gets over on it. Like, it doesn't really benefit anyone. To me, someone beating Goldberg is meaningless in today's world, to me. So I don't know. Maybe other people feel differently about it, but that's just me, man. Pac-Man says Roman continues to carry WWE, all pro wrestling on his back. Yeah, Roman Reigns, one of the hottest things in wrestling going on, which is crazy. Which is crazy because if this was 2 years ago, we'd all be pissed. This would all be the opposite. But they finally figured out the way to do it. They finally figured out how to book this man's, and I've said it countless times that he's the best thing going on right now. Just a normal account. How are you doing, my friend? Good to see you again. They're doing a 22 for Super Bowl. Okay. So pretty close. Vance says Final 4 can be Seth, Cesaro, Nakamura, and Edge. That would be exciting. Yeah, interesting that you bring up Nakamura as well, because he was not on tonight's episode of SmackDown in any sort of capacity, which is pretty interesting. Nakamura is involved in that Superstar Spectacle or whatever it is called, that India show. He was on there, but Cesaro was on there also. So I don't know, maybe that is the reason why Nakamura was not on tonight's episode, or maybe they're just trying to space it out, which is fine with me, but I did think it was interesting that he was not on here. Logan says nothing like piped in indoor swimming center, burn it down and pop on my ears about to be dead. Yeah, I wish they could have a crowd for the Royal Rumble. I really wish. I'm not looking forward to hearing these these fake, I mean, I guess they're not fake, but these countdowns and the ehs and the pops and the chants, man, I am not looking forward to that at all. But it will be interesting to see how much they turn it up for certain people that come through. I could very well see Seth Rollins returning that night. I could very well see Edge returning that night as well. Sava says thoughts on the obstacle course. It wasn't as bad as I thought it would be. I mean, I don't know. I don't have any real complaints over it. I didn't feel like it was too cringy. Maybe that's because Bailey was the one doing it, and Bailey kind of has that feel to her. She can get away with stuff like that. So it wasn't the end of the world for me. Marcel says Dave Meltzer is reported that WWE are deciding between DB and a mystery opponent for Roman's WrestleMania match. Yeah, I wonder who that mystery opponent could be. The one, the only, Goldberg. My guess. Do you like the Undertaker versus Goldberg match? I don't think anyone likes that match. I feel like that is a frowned upon topic. Anthony says the only reason why I hate SmackDown is because the real women tag division in the WWE, the Riott Squad, lost. Yeah, I don't know, man. I don't understand the booking of that whatsoever. I have no idea what they plan on doing. I mean, maybe it involves NXT. It should involve NXT, but I'm not sure. Nakamura and Bryan, I am totally good with Nakamura or Bryan facing Roman Reigns at WrestleMania. That sounds fantastic to me. Fantastic. Vange says, yeah, I live in India, excited for Superstar Spectacle, mainly because AJ Styles is coming. Is he? Was AJ Styles on the card? I swear I read them earlier. Superstar Spectacle. You know, something very interesting about Superstar Spectacle is that Jinder Mahal has been cleared for months. Gotta clean yourself. No worries, Daryl. I will be here. We'll be here for quite a while. We are just getting started here. But anyways, like I was saying, it's weird that Jinder Mahal has been cleared to wrestle for so long, and they haven't used him except for now for this Superstar Spectacle thing. Oh, AJ Styles is on the card. Okay. AJ Styles is on the card. I must have skipped past that one earlier when I was reading it. Did they get Drew for it? Yes, Drew is in the Superstar Spectacle. Jason says Bliss winning the Royal Rumble. I'm not sure. It's very possible. It's very possible. I personally have Bianca Belair winning the Royal Rumble. Personally, I think that Bianca Belair and Sasha Banks at WrestleMania is a big match. I think that's a big match. Sheridan says, what's going to happen to Billie Kay now? I have no clue. Maybe she will go back and try to manage Tamina and Natalya. I don't know. It is crazy to think that Billie Kay is getting more TV time than Peyton Royce, though. Because, man, I thought the complete opposite. I thought that once they split up, I thought Billie Kay would be gone forever. Rated C says, sub AOW, since Thatcher and Ciampa are in the Dusty Tag Team Classic, if they win and they win the NXT Tag Team Champions, do you think they could be like Kurt Angle and Chris Benoit a couple years ago? I mean, I really, really like the team of Tommaso Ciampa and Timothy Thatcher. I think they could really do something special together as a team, not only on NXT, but maybe on Raw and SmackDown as well. Maybe that is the way to get Tommaso Ciampa out of NXT and onto Raw or SmackDown, being a tag team with Timothy Thatcher. They need tag teams really bad. I think both of these guys could leave NXT and NXT would be fine as well. Like I've said before, NXT is stuffed. NXT is very, very full. There's just too many people there. So I don't know. Maybe they'll win it all. Maybe they'll become NXT Tag Team Champions for a little bit. Who knows? Let's see. You watching the McGregor fight tomorrow? No, I wasn't planning on it. I'm not really into that kind of stuff. I don't really watch it unless it's a huge deal. No Hacks, how you doing, my friend? Good to see you again. Usually on Saturdays, we go to my fiance's parents' house and just kind of have like a little family day for a couple hours. So I don't even know if I will be back. Van says Drew versus Jinder Mahal should have happened as of 3MB. Yeah, I think a surprise Jinder Mahal return would have been fantastic to have just some sort of little feud with Drew McIntyre, because Jinder Mahal is a former WWE champion. Drew McIntyre is a current WWE champion. They were in the 3-man band together, so why not? It would have been much better than tossing the title between him and Randy Orton, in my opinion. So who knows? Who knows? Wally says, I'm going to be honest, the Men's Royal Rumble is going to be very exciting considering we may see a couple of returns and we have so many potential winners for this year. Yeah, I think there's a lot of potential winners for the men's. It really seems like they're talking up Daniel Bryan. Really seems like they're talking up Daniel Bryan. He's never won one. Daniel Bryan is trying to become a part-timer right now, so I can see it. I can see it. Daniel Bryan winning the Royal Rumble, going on to face Roman Reigns at WrestleMania. I think that is the match. That is the match right there. I think that's a real good one. Thatcher should stay in NXT. Ciampa can get called up. Ciampa doesn't want to leave NXT, though. He doesn't want to. I mean, I don't blame him, considering the current state of them and with what they've done with Matt Riddle. I mean, Matt Riddle is... he's very talented. He's very good in the ring, but all of the bro stuff, man, it's bro this, bro that. Like, they took the funny bro stuff and they really, like, they broke the knob by turning it up to like 37. Like, they're past 10. They've cranked it almost 4 times now. It's too much. But at least he can still be himself in the ring and he still kicks ass and everything. So I guess it is what it is, but Ciampa's probably, I'd be terrified, dude. I would be absolutely terrified. I would be kissing Triple H's feet day and night. I would be giving that man's massages. I would be doing anything and everything that I possibly could to stay in NXT. That man needs a coffee. I'm on my way to Starbucks, bro. What do you need? I'm gonna get you 2 of them. Does Steph need one too? Does Regal need one? Like, whatever you guys need, bro. Like, I got you. I got you. I do not want to leave NXT. Please keep me here. Sheridan says, do you watch NXT UK? No, I do not. I do not watch NXT UK. I have gone through and watched the Walter match with Ilja Dragunov, which was very good. I hear that I think it was Walter, right, that had the amazing match with A-Kid or whatever. So I'll probably go through and watch that as well. Anthony says, can I get some coffee as well? If it means that I stay in NXT, bro, you guys can all have coffee. It's on me. No need to repay. No need to repay. Rated C says, also NXT might move a night, hopefully. Maybe they can do their second show and put it on Tuesday, and it could help since NXT is really stacked. So, from what I understand, this second NXT show is not supposed to be an extension, but it's supposed to actually be like, it's supposed to go back to developmental. So it's probably going to be like Evolve, but branded as NXT. And it's supposed to be an hour, and it's supposed to be on the network as well. So I wouldn't be surprised if they did throw that on Tuesday. That way that they could get in the mix of AEW Dark and with Impact as well. I wouldn't be surprised if they did that. Also for this other stuff, I'm actually glad that you brought that up, Rated C, because I have not talked about that yet today here. So this guy, I have no idea who he is. He's a check mark though. His name is Joe Flint. He posted on Twitter, the NBC Sports Network is shutting down later this year, and big events such as the NHL and NASCAR will migrate to the USA Network. Story coming ASAP. So, from what I understand, there's lots of stuff from the NHL and or NASCAR that go down on Wednesday. So there becomes a problem here. And I'm not sure that this is a constant thing. I don't think that it's every single Wednesday, but I think it's quite a few Wednesdays out of the year. So from what I understand, from what the post that I've seen from Dave Meltzer, the NHL and NASCAR both have a higher demo rating than NXT, which would mean if they need to go in that time slot, they're probably going to get that time slot because they're worth more money. So what does this mean for NXT? Well, just like SmackDown, they can air on a different channel. Like SmackDown sometimes airs on FS1 when needed to, when there was, I believe, basketball games. I can't quite remember what it was that was hogging that time slot, but NXT could appear somewhere else. They've done that before, so maybe NXT will have to be on the WWE network instead for a couple of weeks here. Or they could just simply do what everyone else thinks that they should do, and they should just move to Thursday nights. NXT belongs on Thursday nights now. That's just the way that it is. It's just the way it is. They don't really have... They can't go to any other night. They just can't. They can't go to Monday, obviously, because Raw is on Mondays. Could they go on Tuesdays? Yeah, I guess they could go on Tuesdays, but the problem with throwing them in the ring on Tuesdays would be that it would kind of make it seem like they're trying to go head to head with AEW Dark and Impact, which they're probably like, AEW Dark and Impact are probably combined nowhere close to what NXT brings in. So going on Tuesdays would probably be a bad look for them. Wednesdays, obviously, they're trying to get away from those because NHL and NASCAR might be taking over those slots. Friday is SmackDown. Weekends, Saturday is reserved for NXT takeovers, and Sundays are reserved for WWE pay-per-views. So the only logical night left is Thursdays. And man, I really think that would be for the best. NXT on Thursday would be incredible. Anthony says, but NXT UK is on Thursday. Yes, but NXT UK is on at like noon, isn't it? It's on super early, and it's on the network only. So there would be plenty of time. There would be plenty of time for that. I think Tuesday at this point would be, I don't think it'd be a good idea. I don't think it'd be a good idea at all to move to Tuesday. Brock says, I want the countdown to Entrant 30 to start as the clock hits 0. Samoa Joe's music hits, and he gets up from the desk and reveals his shorts from under the table where he sits ringside. That would be incredible, Brock. That would be awesome. That would be awesome. Vance says, NXT won't move as they don't want AEW to hit 1 million viewership. But this is the problem. This would not be WWE's decision. They would have no say in this. If the things that I have read today are true, they won't have a choice. They won't have a choice. If the NHL and NASCAR are actually coming, which they are, but something to note about this as well is that this is not happening until 2022. So they have this entire year. They have the entire year of 2021 to figure this out and try to maneuver around it and plan and make it work. They could just move NXT to a different channel, I guess. If USA owns something else, it would have to be something that USA Network owns, or whoever owns USA Network also owns. That might be possible as well. I don't know. But to me, I think it's clear as day that NXT just needs to move to Thursdays. I really think so. I think everyone benefits from that. I think every single company benefits from that. And I think, like, the funny thing too, when we're talking about all of this, is that you have WWE, who's just constantly trying to counterbook shows. They're constantly just eating up promotions, right? Like, they just swallowed up Evolve and all of that. On the other hand, you have AEW, who is their main competition at this point, and they're working with people. AEW is working with Impact, who's probably, I mean, I guess I shouldn't say that they're at the bottom of the barrel, because I'm assuming that Impact is more popular than Ring of Honor. But man, Impact is pretty far down there. So considering the fact that AEW is trying to work with people and trying to bring everyone together while WWE is simply just trying to counter and tear everyone apart, it's a bad look, man. It's a bad look. So just move NXT to Thursdays and just call it a day. Just call it a day. Isn't USA a part of NBC? I have no clue, dude. I have no clue. I'm not a big, I don't watch a lot of TV, which is kind of funny to say because pretty much the only TV that I really watch is wrestling. So, yeah, aside from that, I don't really watch a lot of TV. Everything that I watch is on like Netflix or HBO Max or YouTube for the most part. Likely NXT to Sci-Fi since USA Network owns it. There you go. There you go. I think they were playing reruns of Ms. and Mrs. on E! Network as well, which I would assume that they own as well. But, I mean, who knows if they would play that over there. They probably have episodes of the Kardashians just running nonstop, and those people probably watch the hell out of those. Safa says, imagine Johnny Gargano on the main roster. He would be Johnny 24/7 champion. Yeah, probably. Corbin says, man, Damian needs to make his debut at the Royal Rumble or have Cesaro win the Rumble. Either one will make me happy. I would assume that we will be seeing Damian Priest make his debut on SmackDown next week. Vance says, I say just like Ring of Honor and New Japan Pro Wrestling Invasions, AEW and Impact Invasion would be very cool, but after people actually care about watching Impact. Flash says, so you are not watching the Super Bowl? Yeah, I always watch the Super Bowl, though. I do. I watch the Super Bowl every year, regardless of who's in it. It's always enjoyable. But for the most part, like, I'm not one of those people that's just glued to my TV all day. Like, I don't sit here and watch TV at the, like, literally the only thing that I sit down and watch regularly is wrestling. The rest of the stuff, if there's something that we want to watch, my fiance and I watch Prodigal Son, really good show, by the way. We DVR that and watch it like sometime later in the week when we have time, usually on like Thursdays or something. We'll watch that. Should Roman hold both the WWE Championship and the Universal Championship? I wouldn't mind it. I wouldn't mind it at all. They've kind of planted the seeds for something like that to be there as well. When Jey Uso said that SmackDown wasn't enough. Rated C says, just realized that if NXT start the second show on the network, where will it take place? Maybe the Capitol Wrestling Center, maybe Full Sail when they return. I would assume it'd be in the same place that NXT is in. But I don't think we have very much information on that show quite yet. I don't think. From what I understand, it was mostly some developmental people who were being watched by NXT superstars, I think is how they worded it. So I don't know if it's just like the NXT rosters in the crowd just watching, or if they're actually going to like mentor them like old school NXT stuff. I'm not quite sure. Raphael says, just read the card for Superstar Spectacle. Seems interesting. Yeah, to me, it just seems like one of those fan service shows. That's all. Just a fan service. I'm not going to be waking up in the morning to watch this show. It's already been filmed. So the spoilers are out there. So be careful if you do not want the show spoiled. But I will not be covering it. I'm not going to wake up early for that. No. Rocco says it's very likely we get Goldberg versus Roman. It could, man. It could. The cool thing about the Royal Rumble this year is that there's a lot of people that could win. There's a lot of people that could win. So who knows? It's hard to make a prediction. I think we're just gonna have to wait for the Royal Rumble to happen, and then I think it'll be pretty obvious. I think everything else will start falling into place. Safa says, man, I miss Full Sail. I do too, man. I do too. What's the match card for the next AEW pay-per-view? I don't think they really have anything. I would imagine that we'll see Kenny Omega versus Jon Moxley for the AEW World Championship, and then we have Sting and Darby Allin versus Team Taz in the Street Fight match. 35 minutes, and we haven't even started the show. That's how we do it here, man. That is how we do it here. Some woos for the some woos for not actually getting to the show. I've come to terms with it, man. I've come to terms with it. I don't know. I don't know. I don't know. I've come to terms with it. I think it's working, so I don't mind it. Did you cover the show in Australia back in 2018? Yes, I did. Yes, the Super Showdown. I did. But obviously only on Instagram because I wasn't doing this back then. What happens if I say the G word? You go to hell, unfortunately. And it's a sin that Jesus does not forgive. So you're banished forever, all eternity. All eternity. Marcel says Goldberg loses to Drew and enters the Royal Rumble and wins it. Man, I would be so disappointed. So disappointed. You know what, Raphael?
It's time to welcome you to hell. That name is forbidden around here. There is no around here. That man is simply known as Chad Gable.
The Australia show is the only pay-per-view I've been to. Nice. I mean, that's a pretty big one, though, isn't it? It was huge. I mean, it must be pretty tough to go to shows in Australia. Sorry, your finger slipped. What's the match card for Revolution? I already said that there isn't one. There really isn't one yet. Street fight: Darby Allin and Sting versus Brian Cage and Ricky Starks. Vince, chill, but
it's such good shit.
I live in Australia. Well, yeah, no, I knew that. I was just saying they don't come there that often. JB2 says, would you mind a Brock title reign again? Yes, I would hate that. I would hate it. We don't need that. We don't need it at all. Vange says, Goldberg versus Roman Reigns. I quit match. Roman loses. Got you in the first half. Oof. Yeah, that would be brutal, man. That would be absolutely brutal. Demon Vince attacks. Yeah. When there's good shit around, man, can't help himself. Cannot help himself from showing himself. Imagine Goldberg wins the championship and John Cena comes back and they fight for the belt at WrestleMania. I've heard they want bigger stars at WrestleMania since it's 2 nights. Yeah, we talked about that earlier. If Goldberg is going to win the WWE championship, I don't want to see him face John Cena. Goldberg only has 2 matches in his contract a year, so that means that John Cena would have to beat him and become the WWE champion, or Goldberg would have to win it and somehow have another match, and I don't like either of those outcomes, to be honest. What's the card for Beach Break? I think we have a Miro, or not Miro, it's the Kip Sabian and Penelope Ford like wedding. And then Thunder Rosa and Britt Baker. There's a tag team battle royal match. And I think that's it. Right? I think. Just another account says Vince,
I need another title reign. Damn it, it's such good shit.
Yep. Sounds just like him. Just like him. JB2 says, does Orton versus The Fiend happen at Mania? I could certainly see it happening. If they can manage to stretch it out that far, yeah, I could absolutely see it happening. The only problem is that they have, 2 pay-per-views now between the Royal Rumble and WrestleMania? So we're going to have Elimination Chamber and then Fastlane and then WrestleMania. So, I don't know. Rocco says, Pac, Phoenix, Mox versus Good Brothers and Omega also for Beach Break. Oh, that's correct. You're right. You are right. Marcel says, Otis versus Goldberg. Oh, wrong button. Goldberg Mania match. Otis squashes him. That'd be crazy. That would be crazy. It's weird how he hasn't really even been used. And I guess now they're heels. If anyone noticed that. They were like helping Bayley during that obstacle course jumble thing that happened. That was really weird. That was really weird. Too many WWE pay-per-views. Yeah, there's so many. There's like 12, 13, 14 a year. No Hack says, did you just not bleep the G word? Yeah, I pushed the FX button instead of this button on accident. 25 cents in the swear jar. Oh my God, I'm gonna go broke. 25 cents. Big E versus Sami Zayn versus Apollo Crews for the IC title at the Rumble. I could certainly see that happening. Anthony says, I think since The Fiend is gone for now, I think they should start working on a movie based on him. I think he's coming back real soon. A lot of people think that he is coming back for the Royal Rumble. So, ha ha ha, yowie wowie.
Let me in.
Did they say anything about if they will go back to the Thunderdome after Mania? I think they're trying to figure it out currently. I think they're trying to like go on tour again afterwards. So I don't know. Pro Gamer says, when's Lashley going to defend his United States Championship? I would assume at Royal Rumble. That's what I would assume. I would expect to see Bobby Lashley versus Matt Riddle for the United States Championship. Raphael says, it's sad how Beach Break has more build to its matches than the Royal Rumble. Yeah, I mean, we are essentially a little over a week away, and there's not really very many matches made for the card. We have the men's Royal Rumble, the women's Royal Rumble, and then we have Gold versus Drew McIntyre for the WWE Championship, and then we have Roman Reigns versus Kevin Owens for the Universal Championship, and that is all. No tag team title matches yet, no women's title matches, no women's tag team championship matches yet, no Intercontinental Championship, no United States Championship. It's kind of weird. Like, I guess this is what happens when you force yourself to have a pay-per-view every 3 to 4 weeks. I don't understand. I don't understand why they do it to themselves. They don't need them anymore. Cesaro versus Jey Uso at the Royal Rumble. They made that match? Are you sure they made that match? Because I thought I saw that they made that match, but then I thought that they both just declared themselves for the Royal Rumble. Raphael, you are correct, though. They did confirm Sasha Banks versus Carmella at the Royal Rumble tonight. So yes, you are correct on that one. You are correct. Okay, so Vance says there's also Cesaro versus Jey Uso at the Royal Rumble. So interesting. Flash says Thunder Rosa versus Britt Baker will be a show stealing. Change my mind. Will be a show stealer. Change my mind. I hope so, man. I hope so. I have a lot of hopes for that match. I'm really looking forward to it. I really like the feud between them. Could have been better, but I think that Thunder Rosa has COVID or came in contact with someone who did. That's why their match got delayed and stuff. But I'm really looking forward to it. And I personally would like to see the winner of that match be the next AEW Women's Champion. So I don't know if they're going to have to like win that match and then maybe face Shida, or if they're going to have to participate in that tournament. That tournament didn't have a date on it, if I recall. So we'll see. How's it going, Jeremy? Good to see you back. Pretty good show tonight. Monday Night Trash has no hope, if you ask me. Yeah, I would agree. Safa says, no, they declared themselves for the Rumble. They don't have a match. Okay, that's what I thought. Because I thought the same thing, but then I was like, oh, it's the Royal Rumble. Brandon says, SmackDown was outstanding tonight. Glad that you enjoyed it. Glad that you enjoyed the show. Speaking of the show, maybe it's time that we chat about the show, because we are 50 minutes in. So maybe let's go over the show here for a little bit. In typical Friday night SmackDown fashion, this show started off with your tribal chief, Roman Reigns. Vance says, nope, I just checked. They don't have it. Why does this company announce a match, then removes it? I don't think they ever announced it. I think it was just what they've been doing is tying in the people that have declared themselves in a Royal Rumble themed like match card. So you probably saw that, because I saw it too. And I was like, oh, damn, Cesaro and Jey. And then I was like, oh, they just declared themselves. I'm assuming that's what it is. Anyways, the show started off in typical fashion with your tribal chief, Roman Reigns, and Paul Heyman starting off the show with a promo. This promo was fantastic. Absolutely fantastic. I thought it was great. I mean, even though it was good, I'm still getting a little bit tired of the cookie cutter formula that SmackDown's been using on having Reigns start off the show, going the first 15 minutes or so. This promo was still very, very good, though. The stuff that he said to Adam Pearce was fantastic. The stuff that Paul Heyman said to Adam Pearce was fantastic. Let me see here. I think I put some down here. Roman Reigns said, "What if I was a puss like Adam Pearce?" This man's today, he woke up and just felt like disrespecting Adam Pearce all night. This is the only thing on this man's mind today. He also went on by saying something about him complaining all the time, and then followed it by saying, "No wonder why you never made it to the WWE." Absolute flames. He was roasting the hell out of this man's during the beginning of this show. Next up, I can't remember how we got to this altercation part of it, but Adam Pearce was saying that, you know, he can accept being roasted and disrespected by Roman Reigns, but he will not take it from Paul Heyman. Paul Heyman is not allowed to disrespect him. So they got in each other's faces. Paul Heyman said some amazing stuff. I can't remember verbatim what he said. It was very good, though. And they ended up in a match. They ended up being in a match for the main event of SmackDown. It is 2021, ladies and gentlemen, and the beginning of tonight's SmackDown made a main event match between everyone's favorite, not so favorite authority figure Adam Pearce versus Paul Heyman. That is your SmackDown main event. Very interesting. I saw a lot of people actually didn't mind this. I saw a lot of people actually really didn't mind this at all. Van says, "Hey, is Bernie sitting next to you? Because I see that guy everywhere." Yeah, me too, man. I'm surprised I haven't seen him in the Thunderdome. Obi James says, "I'm from New York and I can beat yo ass up," says Paul Heyman. Yeah, there you go, pretty much. Raphael says, "Yeah, I think every week for the past like 2 or 3 months, Reigns or Uso have opened and closed both shows." Yep. I mean, that's the way it is, though, you know? That's the way that it is. When you have someone as hot as Roman Reigns and he can carry this show, man. He can literally carry this show from start to finish. There is a reason why he is the opening, and there's a reason why he's sprinkled throughout the entire show. It's to keep people tuned in. And obviously it works great for SmackDown because their viewership, I think the last time I did it, they only lost like 40 or 50,000 viewers in the span of the 2 hours the show was on air. Meanwhile, on Raw, even though they are an hour longer, Raw typically loses somewhere around 200,000 people an hour. So by the end of Raw, they have lost 400,000 viewers. Meanwhile, SmackDown loses like 40 or 50 or something like that. So people are sticking around to see Roman Reigns, that is for sure. This man is the topic of discussion. He is one of the hottest things going on in wrestling right now, and I don't think anyone can deny that or take that away from him. He's finally in that spot that Vince McMahon has wanted him to be in all of these years. Leroy says, "Bianca Belair carrying Otis was funny." I was not expecting that. I was not expecting that at all. I chuckled when he showed up, like when he popped up from behind the stairs, and I was like, there's no way that she can actually carry him, right? This man gets up on the stairs, jumps up on her back, and she carries him no problem all the way through. Meanwhile, they had Bayley struggling to carry Chad Gable. I don't know if that's actually true or she just did that for dramatic effect or whatever, but it happened. All right. Anthony says, "Paul Heyman must have stubbed his toe because that really, really, really hurts." Yeah. I mean, that's a good way to not be medically cleared, man. Stubbing your toe is a big deal. Safa says, "If you want people to stick around, then you start with Roman Reigns." Yeah, pretty much. King D says, "Just finished SmackDown Live Mountain Time." Oh, crazy. I'm on the West Coast. I have to stream it. I couldn't wait to watch them at normal time. There's no way. No way. For SmackDown, for anyone who is not on the East Coast, you can actually download the the Fox Sports app as long as you have cable, and you can watch SmackDown live for free, live when it airs, in good quality as well. So interesting start to tonight's show. I had no problem with the start of tonight's show. I thought it was pretty good. I saw that a lot of people were pretty mad that we were going to see Adam Pearce versus Paul Heyman in the main event. I saw a lot of people that thought that they wanted to see that, and I think it was pretty obvious here. They planted the seeds. The entire beginning of Roman Reigns' promo was about cards subject to change, right? So I think it's pretty obvious that this match wasn't going to happen, and I think it was pretty obvious that Adam Pearce was going to get a beat down from Roman Reigns. We knew that it was going to be coming on that side since he screwed him last week. So I liked it. I really like stuff like that. I like how they present something to you, they kind of plant the seed, and then you kind of have to figure it out yourself, you know? But it's there. I like that kind of stuff. So I really liked this. Really liked this. Raphael says they think there's a chance that Cena wins the Rumble. I could see it after today's report. Cena versus McIntyre seems decently likely. I mean, I don't think so. At least that's not how I would do anything. I guess that's certainly something that Vince could probably do or would do. But for me, John Cena isn't someone that needs to win the Royal Rumble to get a championship match. So for me, I would have Daniel Bryan win still and challenge Roman. And then you could just have John Cena show up and challenge Drew McIntyre if he's able to retain. I don't see any problem with that. And John Cena would put Drew McIntyre over at WrestleMania. So I don't see any problem with that. Although I do hate that, I talked about this earlier, people just coming in and filling these slots, these WrestleMania slots for other people that could have them. Maybe Sheamus could put on a good one with Drew McIntyre at WrestleMania. They just need to build him up. Keith Lee could put on a good one against Drew McIntyre at WrestleMania. And I mean, that's even one of the rumored WrestleMania matches that were rumored a couple months ago was Drew McIntyre versus Keith Lee versus Brock Lesnar. I think that would be a pretty good match. Why not Drew McIntyre versus Keith Lee versus Sheamus? Why not? Haven't we already seen Cena and Orton overpushed enough? Yeah, that's why I would rather see someone else get those shining spots. Maybe not on those huge nights. Have them come back, but I don't know. It just or maybe have them come back and just not be in world championship matches. Like if they want to have Drew McIntyre versus John Cena, just make sure that neither one of them are champions, which would be pretty easy because John Cena's not a wrestler full time. So anytime that these people are not world champions, I think those Legends matches are fine. It's just taking those WrestleMania opportunities from someone just kind of sucks. To see these people work so hard all year or multiple years, all their lives to get here, and it's just like, oh, this guy just shows up every year and takes the title for 7 months and doesn't show up and gets paid 35 times more than I do and shows up twice a year, kind of frustrating. Vance says, hey, as Legends are returning, what about Carlito though? I love that guy. Should be Carlito versus Drew. Yeah, I think I've said this on almost every WWE post show at this point. I could certainly see them bringing in Carlito for the Royal Rumble as a just a surprise return. I could definitely see that happening. That guy is more popular than anyone that I know. Jesus. Like I've never seen someone so popular before. It's absolutely insane. Absolutely insane. So hopefully they do bring him in. I think that would be a huge fan service. I think a lot of people would be really, really, really happy for that. So, and he said that he didn't want to go to Legends Night just because he didn't want to do all that just to be there for 10 seconds. So maybe they'll get him in the Royal Rumble for a little bit. Be the perfect way to do so. Next up, we saw Sami Zayn coming out, and he handcuffed himself to the guardrail on the entrance ramp, and he had a bunch of signs throughout the night. The first one that he had said #justice for Sami, and he was again filming his own documentary about being screwed by the WWE. I think it was, at least for me, it was very obvious where this was going here. He obviously chained himself to that because he's going to make a big spectacle here over it. And then when you have that Intercontinental Championship match between Apollo Crews and Big E, he would, of course, unhandcuff himself and get involved. And I'm sure you can figure out what actually happened tonight as well. King D said, did you watch the Carlito Hall of Fame? No, I have not watched it yet. There's still a lot of things I need to catch up on, but I haven't had the time to do it yet. Carlito is more popular than Goldberg. I would assume so at this point. Jesus, I really would. Van says Carlito is a main event star and only he can save Raw and get a 3 million viewership. Dude, that'd be so crazy. Could you imagine? Could you imagine Carlito night for Monday Night Raw? Carlito's just at the beginning of the show, sprinkled off. He's like the Roman Reigns of just one episode of Raw, and they get like 3 million viewers. That would be hilarious. Absolutely hilarious. Obi James says Sami was legit robbed last week. For me, man, I'm just so tired of this story. Like, I'm over it. I'm over it. It's not that interesting to me anymore. I've seen it too much, and I'm so tired of the disqualifications. I'm so tired of the constant booking of the same things over and over and over again. Big E and Apollo Crews already had a match. They already had a match, and they did this hokey stuff before where they had a double pin. They both supposedly pinned each other at the same exact time, only so that they could restart it and Apollo could lose. So it's like, why did this match need to happen? Because it didn't. They should have saved this match for the Royal Rumble. Or they should have just had Sami come out and cry more like he's been doing, saying that he was robbed, show the footage, maybe have him argue with Adam Pearce during this whole episode, saying that he was robbed, providing footage, again, saying that he's robbed, crying on social media, doing all that stuff. And then next week he could continue to cry and then just get booked in the match, and they could just have the triple threat at the Royal Rumble. There's no need to continue booking all of these people in continuous rematches week in and week out. It makes them lose the special factor to them. It makes them less appealing to me, and you're gonna want these pay-per-view matches to actually mean something and be special. And by the time we get to them, they're just not. They're not. If we see Apollo and Big E again at the Royal Rumble, we'll already have seen it twice. So this will be the third time watching it, and it'll really be no different. And who's to say that they don't have another one next week? Because Apollo is pissed that his match got interfered in, and so he wants a rematch. Who knows? Obi James says Michael Cole hates Sami Zayn so much it's annoying. I love stuff like that. I think it's really great. Like, back when Corey Graves would always talk so much shit about Sasha Banks. It was so. I'll never forget when he says, "If you have a back, Sasha Banks will stab you in it." That stuff is just so funny to me. I love it. Daryl says, is Sami in the Royal Rumble? Because if not, I see a triple threat at the Royal Rumble for the Intercontinental Championship. So when Sami cuffed himself to the handrail, he did declare himself for the Royal Rumble. Apparently, he's one of those magical people on Adam Pearce's super secret list of who management says can and can't declare themselves for the Royal Rumble. So apparently he's on the good side of it, but poor Ricochet and Drew Gulak are not on it. That poor excuse of trying to give us some logic, man. Absolutely ridiculous. Absolutely ridiculous. Safa says, I actually want Sami to win the Intercontinental Championship so that we get KO versus Sami for the title at Mania. That'd be great. I wouldn't mind seeing another Kevin Owens Sami Zayn feud. I would love that. And I mean, but at the same time, Kevin Owens, man, he's so good. Kevin Owens is so good. We'll talk about this later on in the show towards the end, but Kevin Owens shows up and performs at one of the highest levels possible week in and week out. It's incredible. I don't know why this man has not been the face of the company. He should have been second-time Universal Champion a long time ago. Man says KO versus Apollo versus Big E versus Sami, and this no disqualification match will end in a DQ, and Vince will be getting a big satisfaction after that. Yes, he would. Raphael says, look at the contrast. AEW's mid-card title main events a special show and is part of long rivalries, why the IC and US titles haven't been defended on pay-per-view in forever and have nothing matches. Pretty much. That's why I say that most WWE championships have zero prestige. They have zero meaning, and someone holding them is worthless. Absolutely worthless. It means nothing. It does nothing for anyone. Usually they just throw those titles on someone and they don't really do anything with them. And even you have someone as hot as Big E, right? The fans love Big E. Everyone is super behind Big E. And look, they had him face Apollo Crews twice and did all the hokey stuff in the beginning. Like, it's so dumb. It's so dumb. And this is why no one ever gets over. No one ever gets over, ever. Because of so much stuff like this. It doesn't benefit anyone. No one comes out of this feud looking strong. Apollo doesn't. Big E doesn't. Sami certainly doesn't. So I don't know. I don't know. Daryl says, dude, I've been a KO fan since Ring of Honor. He's so nice in the ring. He's so good in the ring. He's good as at promos, as a heel and a babyface as well. Like, he's just super good. Fame says KO will always be super funny. That's the thing too. He can fill in those comedic spots. He can be super serious when he needs to. Like, he literally just checks all the boxes for me. So, huge fan of Kevin Owens. Huge fan. And I think he deserves to be where he is now, because him and Roman Reigns, despite the fact that they've been fighting each other for 3 months now, they're still killing it. They're still killing it. They still managed to figure out a way to make it somewhat interesting, even though you've already seen it for 3 months. Raphael says, like, I don't think any more of Big E after he won the Intercontinental Championship. He doesn't feel any more legit than he did before he won it. Compare that to Darby after beating Cody. He's a star. Yeah, and they've kind of, I mean, I do have a problem with Darby's TNT Championship reign. It's been pretty subpar, to say the least. He's defended it once, but they have featured him a lot. They've talked him up a lot. He's been featured with Sting. Sting congratulated him, so it's really stuff like that I think that helps. And I do like how their title is not really considered a mid card. It did main event the show, and the match was fantastic as well. There wasn't anything to devalue it whatsoever. When are we going to talk about Reggie's performance, though? Here pretty soon. Hopefully AJ Styles kills Humberto's dreams on Raw. I don't think Humberto Carrillo is not even granted. See, he's not even permitted to think about entering the Royal Rumble. Can't even think about it. That's a big nopers there, and that is
such good shit,
if you ask me. Do you want KO to be more popular than Carlito? I mean, is Kevin Owens more popular than Carlito? I would say yes. But I don't, what do I know? I did not think that Carlito would be announced for Legends Night, and even 3 weeks afterwards, the world would still be going insane over them mentioning him. I never would have thought that, so I don't know. What do I know? I actually feel like Darby's reign has been underwhelming. Yeah. I agree. He hasn't really defended it. He hasn't really done anything with it. But they are at least featuring him, and he is featured in very high profile things. So I can't complain about that, but the defenses is pretty lackluster. And the thing that sucks about it too is that his challengers, like Brian Cage, man, I think he could have gone without that L. I feel like Ricky Starks is probably the next person to challenge for the title, and I don't think he should be taking that L for that. I think Ricky Starks would be a fantastic TNT champion, but it's too early for Darby to lose. And then we have that forbidden door. Is Sting gonna challenge for the TNT championship? Or is Darby just gonna give him a TNT championship shot? Is Darby gonna turn on Sting? Is Sting gonna turn on Darby? Are they gonna mentor? Is Sting gonna mentor Darby? I don't know. I guess we'll see. Anthony says Humberto Carrillo goes into the Royal Rumble, DDT everyone on the concrete. Oh no. Nightmares. Absolute nightmares. Vance says, don't lie. Your every stream since Raw Legends has Carlito mentioned. No, that's what I'm saying. That's what I'm saying. It's crazy. That's what I'm saying. What do I know? What do I know? I have talked about Carlito more since he has not been wrestling than I ever did before when I was watching wrestling and Carlito was an active wrestler. That's how crazy it is. Maybe Carlito needs to come back and squash Roman Reigns and become the Universal Champion. Jesus, like, I never knew how many people were in love with Carlito. It's insane. It's insane. I never knew. Never knew. Safa says, I'm honestly tired of the Darby and Team Taz rivalry. I want Darby to feud with someone else. Yeah, I hope this is kind of the end of it. I'm kind of hoping that Ricky Starks does not get a shot at the TNT Championship. I would like to see them move on as well, because this has been going on for quite a while. But it's also been pretty enjoyable with the addition of Sting, because he's Sting, and we didn't really know I mean, I think we all knew that we were going to see some sort of cinematic tag match between them, but it's the curiosity of what happens next that really has me hooked, because I don't know what Sting is here for. Is he here for a TNT Championship reign? I don't know. I have no idea. So I'm very hooked for that sole reason. I really want to know what is going on with that. Obi James says, we should be talking about how Carlito got robbed over Legends Night, not Sami. Yeah, if anyone was robbed by WWE, it was Carlito. Even though Carlito is the one that declined showing up on the show. He didn't want to do it, so that's why. Oh, one second. Oh, dog is in here. Hello, dog. What are you doing? Change that name. The only reason SmackDown was good because, oh god, no. Daryl says, I fuck with Carlito heavy, but everyone expected him to return on Legends Night and they want him back so badly, and maybe it could just be a possibility. I think he'll be in the Royal Rumble. I do. I really think so. Sorry, I had to go close the door. It would make a lot of sense for Carlito to be in the Royal Rumble. Them not doing it, I think, would be pretty stupid. Raphael says, what kind of dog do you have? I have a yellow lab pit bull mix. So he's a golden pit bull, pretty much. A giant baby as well. Obi James says, how long has the Team Taz and Darby feud been going on? So it's been going on for a very long time, but in sort of AEW style storytelling. It originally happened like 9 months ago, I think. But how long it's been happening like on TV regularly, I have no idea. A while though. Quite a while. Ranch says, awesome. Carlito holds every championship. Miracle in the street where with the... Oh god. You want ratings? Make Carlito your WWE version of Kenny Omega. He's going to be the belt collector. Sting for AEW champion? No. No. I don't even want to see Sting near Kenny Omega. No way. Safa says, are we going to get Cody versus Sting? They teased it. I could certainly see that. Either that or a tag team. Cody has said plenty of times that Sting is his favorite wrestler, so maybe they'll tag up together, maybe they'll feud together, I don't know. It seems like Cody's very directionless at this point. They don't really know what they're doing with him. They did that Shaq stuff, like, that was like a month ago at least, wasn't it? And now they're just kind of following up on it randomly. Like, why does it take Cody 4 weeks to respond to Shaq? And what's the outcome? What's the outcome of that? I have no idea. And I honestly, I couldn't care less. I have no idea what they're doing with that. I think it's trash. All right. Next up, we saw the WWE Women's Tag Team Champions float on over to the Blue Brand to take on the Riott Squad. And no. This was not a WWE Women's Tag Team Championship match. Why? I have Absolutely no idea. No clue whatsoever. Chloe says, hey, OW, just dropped by to say enjoy your post show tonight and keep up the good work. Good night, everyone. Thank you for tuning in, or thank you for that. Thank you, Chloe. Have a good rest of your night. Current SmackDown theme is boring. Yeah, I mean, aside from Roman, there's some interesting things happening, but for the most part, I thought tonight's show was pretty boring. Daryl says, so Shaq is wrestling in AEW, but ran from the Big Show. Dude, if he wrestles in AEW, I hope they get killed online for it. I hope they get killed online for it, because that will be, you know what? That's not trash. All right. That's the drizzling shits. Okay. That's one step worse than trash. No one wants to see this. Please, for the love of God, do not let this happen. I don't know where any of this is going. I really don't. I don't like it. I wish they would just cancel it completely. Shaq versus Cody for the AEW Championship. Ugh. El Terrible, man. El Terrible. I don't have a favorite Charlotte Flair match. Sorry. Got him. Yeah, so this match was not for the women's tag team championships. Why, I have no idea. Why this match even happened, I have absolutely no idea. This should have, I mean, it shouldn't have, but if they were going to have this match, it should have been a championship match, because the Riott Squad has earned it. They've been beating ass for, 5 weeks or something like that now. So I feel like it's time. The Riott Squad is the only women's tag team that is a legit tag team, pretty much. And they're the only ones who have been consistently picking up wins every week. So why did this happen? I don't get it. Only for them to lose clean. I mean, the other option of them beating them, I would have complained about too, because that's having your champions lose is stupid. But this match just shouldn't have taken place. It shouldn't have taken place at all. And the even more infuriating thing is that Natalya and Tamina were watching in the back as if there was some sort of like implication, or as if like if the Riott Squad lost, that they were next in line when they have just lost. It's like, come on. So hopefully, I mean, it was my understanding, like I thought that the Riott Squad were going to be the next women's tag team champions. And I guess it could still happen, because this is WWE and their booking is illogical and makes absolutely no sense most of the time anyways. So it's very possible that it still happens. But now that we have this NXT Women's Dusty Rhodes Tag Team Classic, we could very well see the winner of that challenge Asuka and Charlotte and become the women's tag team champions. And I think that's probably the better route to go. NXT actually has some women that are actually kind of teamed up. So it would only make sense for them to go to NXT, and then NXT could use those as a benefit as well for their show. You could even have them float up to Raw or SmackDown and have some good old matches there, since they'd be able to go to whatever shows that they want. I think now is the time to finally put those straps on someone from NXT. Let me see if I can go through here and let me find the chart, because I don't remember who all the teams were. So Candice LeRae and Indy Hartwell would be a fantastic one, and Dakota Kai and Raquel Gonzalez would probably be the other one. You could argue that Casey Catanzaro and Kaden Carter could be the winners as well, but I really think that Lorraine Hartwell and Kai and Gonzalez were probably the best bets. And I think either one of those would be great women's tag team champions. I think they would do them a huge service. I think that they would actually probably be one of the best people to actually even hold them, aside from Sasha Banks and Bayley. The rest of it has just been garbage. Oh,
look who's here. Good old Vinnie Mac. VKM sweating just thinking about Roman Reigns and WrestleMania and Gold Okay, yeah.
Yeah. All right, so Asuka and Charlotte win. I have no idea where we go from here, though. Absolutely no clue. I guess we'll just have to wait and see for that after this. So what ended up happening was, I think it was Charlotte rolled up Ruby, but she was actually able to roll through, but Billie Kay was distracting the referee, so they were very upset that they could have possibly gotten the win there, but Billie Kay interfered, so they ended up breaking off things with Billie Kay. I'm not even quite sure how official her managerial role was with them or anything. I'm not quite sure, but they are no longer together. Ruby Riott and Liv Morgan have completely pushed away Billie Kay, so I have no clue what's next for Billie Kay either. We're seeing Sonya Deville in that assistant general manager spot. She was in that spot today. She talked with the Street Profits. She also, Billie Kay apparently also talked to Sonya Deville and gave Ruby Riott and Liv Morgan entrance into the Royal Rumble for the women's side. So where she goes from here, I have no idea. Maybe she will try to make her way back into the good graces of Tamina and Natalya, since they are apparently a tag team still. I don't know. It'll be very interesting to see. Maybe she will just try to play other roles. Maybe they'll have her on commentary. Maybe they'll have her as an announcer, or not an announcer, but like an interviewer or something like that. I'm not quite sure. Not quite sure. Next up, we had Daniel Bryan coming out talking about how amazing it would be for him to win the Royal Rumble. The thing that I liked about this the most was that Daniel Bryan was wearing normal clothes. He didn't come out in his little panties just to talk. He came out in full clothes like a normal person would be wearing outside. I thought that was great. I really like that touch. I hate it when everyone just comes out in their wrestling gear, even though they're not wrestling. Like, I get the whole, like, you got to be ready at all times type deal, but I mean, this is a predetermined show correctly. Like, everything is booked. So these people should be just in their normal attire, but they should be there, because how long does it really take someone to get dressed? Right? So I really like that touch from it. Again, it seems like they could possibly be building up Daniel Bryan to win the Royal Rumble. And if he does, I think that's fantastic. I think it is fantastic. Daniel Bryan versus Roman Reigns is incredible. Yeah, we gotta chill on the chat spam. Anyways, I think that Daniel Bryan winning the Royal Rumble is great. I don't know if they're kind of seems like they're building up quite a few people here. Daniel Bryan has talked about winning a lot. They've mentioned that he's never won before. So I kind of get the feeling there. Cesaro is he's one of the few people that have any sort of momentum right now. He's picked up 2 clean wins 2 weeks in a row, which is kind of sad that that's all it takes for you to have a little some of the most momentum in WWE is just to win 2 matches back to back. But Cesaro's doing great for that as well. Nakamura ran the gauntlet, so he got a little bit more popular there, so he's very possible for him. On the other side, you have AJ Styles on Raw, who is he's being the dream killer, if you will, is what I've been calling him. Crushed the dreams of Ricochet and Drew Gulak. So I don't know how you want to picture that, but he's being the gatekeeper for the Royal Rumble. So maybe he could be the winner of it as well. AJ Styles versus Drew McIntyre doesn't sound too bad. AJ Styles versus Roman Reigns honestly doesn't sound that bad either, to be honest. So there's quite a few people who could win. There really is. Back to Carlito. Yeah, there you go. Daryl says, I can see Cesaro and Daniel Bryan being the final 2. That'd be good. Someone else mentioned before that Samoa Joe would be a fantastic surprise entrant. I would love to see that. I can't wait to see Samoa Joe come back. So that'd be really cool. A person who uses those accounts thinks they're doing something funny. Yeah, I don't get it. Is the Royal Rumble this weekend? No, the Royal Rumble is not this weekend. The Royal Rumble is next weekend. The Royal Rumble is on January 31st, which is not this Sunday, but the next one. Anthony says, I feel if Daniel Bryan does not win the Rumble, it will happen at Elimination Chamber. Yeah, but I mean, I just think winning the Rumble in general is a huge milestone for him, you know? I think it'd be a huge milestone. It's one of the only things he hasn't done in the company. So I feel like giving it to him while he's kind of ready to go part-time. He's ready to focus on his family. We're not sure, you know, we weren't even supposed to have this time with Daniel Bryan. You know, I don't think anyone expected him to actually come back and wrestle in WWE. So what better time to book him to win the Royal Rumble than now? He can win the Royal Rumble, have some fantastic promos with Roman Reigns leading into WrestleMania. He could put on one hell of a match with Roman Reigns at WrestleMania, and then he can just go away. He can go away for a little bit, be a father, take some time off, and when duty calls, he can come back and do what needs to be done. I think that is the perfect outcome for WrestleMania. I really do. Daniel Bryan has actually spent the longest time in a Royal Rumble match in the greatest Royal Rumble. Yeah, I think they said, what was it, an hour and 16 minutes? Who won the 205 Live matches? I'm not sure. We can find out, though. Let's take a look-sies. That is not what I'm looking for. So, of course, Ciampa and Timothy Thatcher won. Let's see here. And then Indy Hartwell and Candice LeRae won as well. Daryl says, I don't care. Jay White is debuting in the Royal Rumble. I don't think so, man. I don't think so. I think it's all work. I also heard someone say that he already said that he was staying with New Japan. I'm not sure if that's true, though. I haven't seen it. Rocco says, would you be surprised if they had a superstar win and then face the NXT champion? Yeah, I would. But, I mean, they did that last year. That's what Charlotte Flair did. So it wouldn't be too surprising at this point. Evers, Ciampa, and Thatcher in the second round. There we go. That'd be a good one. That would be a very good one. So next up in tonight's show, we had Cesaro come out and interrupt Daniel Bryan while he was giving his Royal Rumble speech here. And he mentioned Daniel Bryan wanted to fight Cesaro again, and Cesaro said, nah, bro, you're not even dressed for it, and I already beat you. So there's no point in running this back. You're not dressed, so get out of the ring. And I'm going to issue an open challenge. I was very excited for this. I love me some open challenges, titles or not. I think they're fantastic. So, and Cesaro is one of the best in the world, in my opinion. So very cool to see him issue an open challenge. And the person that answered it was none other than everyone's favorite uncle, Uncle Ziggy. Uncle Ziggy came out with his SmackDown Tag Team Championship around his waist. And they fought. It's pretty good. It was a pretty good match. I really liked it. And Cesaro spun Uncle Ziggy around for, I swear, it was like 2 minutes. I swear it was like legit 2 minutes that he was just spinning him around. It was fantastic. This is great for me because Dolph Ziggler is one of the best sellers in the world, along with Ricochet. So it's very cool to see him in these matches with people. I thought it was great. Warrior says, I like how Rudolph, the rando tag team, won the titles just to do nothing. Yeah, Robert Roode wasn't even here this week. I'm not sure if that's because he maybe has COVID or came in contact with someone who has COVID or not. I don't know. Maybe he was a part of the WWE Superstar Spectacle thing. I can't remember, but why do you call Dolph Uncle Ziggy? I don't know, because it's funny. It's funny. Yeah, so Safa says Dolph Ziggler's brother is on Dynamite next week. Yes, he is. Ryan Namath is taking on Hangman Adam Page on AEW Dynamite next week. That is Dolph Ziggler's brother. So that will be very interesting to see. Be very interesting to see. I've never seen him wrestle before, so I'm interested. I'm interested to tune in and see that. I'm also very interested to see what Hangman Adam Page is going to do since he decided to not join the Dark Order. Obi James says, I almost forgot that Dolph and Riott are the tag champs, right? And it just happened. That's why I keep saying that WWE championships aren't worth a damn. They're not worth a damn. Most people can't even remember who the champions are. That's just the way it is right now. It's just so uneventful. Van says, Shawn Michaels again, proving he is a good wrestler. Oh, wait, that's Uncle Ziggy. Rocco says, I think the realistic options for the Rumble winners are Daniel Bryan, Jey Uso, Keith Lee, and AJ Styles, but AJ faces Balor whenever they have the Mania takeover. Rocco, that would be incredible, dude. That'd be incredible. And I guess that's an interesting thing to say, because a lot of us speculate that what is going to happen at the Royal Rumble is that Goldberg is actually going to walk out with the WWE Championship. And I think almost everyone unanimously thinks that Roman Reigns is going to walk into WrestleMania as the Universal Champion, and they'll have that Goldberg and Roman Reigns match for winner take all. If AJ Styles wins and goes to NXT and challenges Finn Balor, that would be a way to get that to get around that challenger for one of those titles. Very, very interesting. I hadn't considered that. And AJ Styles and Finn Balor, whew. You could put that on WrestleMania. You could put that on some sort of NXT takeover if there's going to be one before WrestleMania, which I'm assuming there will be. That would be crazy. Having AJ Styles show up on NXT would be incredible too. That'd be a game changer. That would probably, I think that's one of the things that would probably help NXT get an advantage over Dynamite for at least a little bit. Nightmare scenario. Goldberg wins the title, then the Royal Rumble to gatekeep. He sets himself up as a heel going into WrestleMania. No one can beat me. I'm prepared for the worst, Matt. I'm prepared for the worst. I really am. Safa says, who is better, Uncle Ziggy or Uncle Rob? I like Ziggy better, but I'm not familiar with Robert Roode's work prior to WWE. I never watched TNA or Impact that much, so I don't know. AJ can give a classic at NXT. Oh, drink went down the wrong pipe. AJ can again give a classic at NXT against Adam Cole, Johnny Ciampa, and more. I would love to see AJ in NXT. I also would love to see AJ and Finn Balor team up together. I do. It's a win-win because AJ wants to go to NXT and it will boost the ratings, and we'll find a way to get Roman versus Goldberg. Michael says, don't know if you saw, but Stephanie McMahon said the plan is to have at least some fans at WrestleMania. Yeah, we talked about it earlier. Yeah, no, I'm good. I'm good. I'm drinking a Monster and it went down the wrong pipe. Racy says, stop saying Goldberg's name before you lose your channel. I know, I'm going to get deleted. I'm going to get deleted by YouTube. YouTube, I'm sorry, please. Please don't delete me for saying Goldberg so many times. I apologize. But yes, Michael, we saw that, and they are planning on having 25,000 fans in attendance for nights 1 and 2 of WrestleMania. All right, where's my mouse here? All right, so next up, it was boss time. Yeah, boss time. Yeah, boss time. Tonight we saw Sasha Banks take on Reginald, Carmella's wine guy. I can't ever remember what he's called, but Reginald. We had an intergender match tonight on SmackDown. And it was interesting, to say the least. Yes, it was an intergender match. Sasha Banks got all the offense. This guy did nothing but counter and do flips He was very smooth with his flips. That little like back roll up thing that he did and went through the ropes was very cool. The back flip off of the apron, the front flip off of the steel steps, all was very good. But man, I don't know whose fault it was, and I don't really even care whose fault it was. But there was a lot of botches with all of the like lucha stuff that they were doing, where they're swinging around a lot. Sasha Banks is swinging around on Reginald a lot, like towards the end where she tried to put in the bank statement. Very, very sloppy. Lots of sloppy things here, but Reginald was pretty smooth in his flips and stuff, but this was not for me. This was not for me at all. I didn't like it. I don't think this did anything for anyone, and it's just kind of weird that they've done this in two instances where they're trying to book a feud through a pay-per-view, but they don't want those two to collide. So we've been seeing them do that with Roman Reigns and Kevin Owens. It's been Roman and Adam Pearce. Then it was now Adam Pearce and Paul Heyman, and now Roman Reigns and Adam Pearce again. But then Kevin Owens comes out, so it's like they're trying to keep them apart, but keep them together and involved in a feud as well. And I just don't think it did anything. Like, of course, Sasha Banks was going to win. Like, how would that have made her look if she lost? Terrible. I mean, yeah, the guy was smooth. The guy did a bunch of cool stuff. But, I mean, at the end of the day, what does it do? It doesn't get Sasha Banks over. It doesn't get him over for anything. And it doesn't get Carmella over. It's really just a filler match to postpone them until the Royal Rumble. And who knows what they're going to do next week? Who knows? Vance says, I love Bailey and Gargano. Both are entertaining as a heel and a face. As some superstars, they're boring and cringy. I agree. I like both of them as faces and heels. I've really started to like Bailey and where she's at right now. Sasha with a good Snoop Dogg entrance. Yeah, because we all know that Cody's is trash. Absolute garbage. I think it's like 100% chance we get Goldberg versus Roman, since they've been hinting at it since Goldberg was watching Roman versus Braun. I think it's going to happen too, but in my predictions, it's still Daniel Bryan, but I definitely think it's going to be Goldberg. That's how WWE is going to book it. Warrior says Reginald has some smooth as hell flips. He really does. A lot of that stuff was great. Like I said, that little back roll up through the ropes was really cool looking. But in the end, I don't think this did anything for anyone. And that's what these entire shows are for, right? Is to elevate people, get people to a next level, continue a storyline, further a storyline, however you want to say it. This really didn't do it. This was just a filler to me. And who knows what they're going to do next week? Maybe another contract signing. I have no idea. But they're definitely going to need to fill it in because they have one more episode of SmackDown before the Royal Rumble. Matt says, is Aleister Black still on the payroll? Yeah, I believe so. Someone said that he was on Main Event, I believe. I read a couple of things today, but I don't know if they're true or not either. Let me see here. So someone is saying, I think it was PW Insider or something. PW Insider Elite's Mike Johnson says that Aleister Black was deliberately pulled from TV as WWE wanted to give him a big dramatic debut on SmackDown. Those plans, of course, have yet to come to fruition. Johnson said, I was told he was purposely pulled from television so he can come back and have a big dramatic debut for SmackDown, and it just hasn't happened. My feeling is maybe the stuff with his wife Zelina may have led to them saying, hey, let's wait a bit. Let's let the waters calm. I don't know if I believe that. I don't believe it at all. They then said if WWE still plans to reintroduce the former NXT champion with a big dramatic debut, is currently unknown. Black reportedly feels like the company has forgotten about him and he even wants to go back to NXT. See, I don't know. I don't know if I believe this or not. I don't know if I believe this or not. It seems more that Aleister Black would be pissed that his wife got fired. He has no creative direction, and he wanted to go back to NXT and they won't let him. This doesn't seem like them pulling him off of TV just so he can have a big quote debut. He's already been on the show. He's already squashed people for weeks and weeks and weeks, months, if you will. He sat in a dark room for months. So I'm not quite sure that I buy that. That's why I didn't comment on it today. I didn't post it today because I don't know if I believe it. Fightful did post something earlier this morning, but I don't pay for their select, and I haven't seen anyone else post it. So I'm not sure if they would gatekeep like that, if they would put someone else's paywalled stuff behind a paywall or not. So I don't know. Logan says, sorry, I was gone for a while. I was on the phone to my girlfriend. She loves your post shows, by the way. We both watch them together. Oh, thank you, Logan. I appreciate it. I did not know that you two were together. Interesting to know. Well, thank you guys for tuning in. I really appreciate it. It means a lot. Matt says, because the inner circle is imploding, finally, Pride and Powerful need to rock now. Yes, they do. Obi James says, just watch this feud continue until we get a champagne on a pole match. I could see that happening. If he wants to go back to NXT, just let him. They said no. Anthony says, I mean, Rusev was released and Lana is still in the NXT. Yeah, I mean, in WWE. But yeah, is she? Though she's not really doing anything. She's off TV. She was in a storyline and then was just magically out of it when the golden child, Charlotte Flair, showed back up. Raphael says, I don't believe it, judging by how he was used before he got pulled. He was drafted in the 6th round after Akira Tozawa and lost to Kevin Owens week after week. I don't buy it. I don't either. I think that is a crock of shit, to be honest. I really do. So I'll have to check. Maybe I'll just pay for there. It's only $5. Maybe I'll just pay for it. I don't think that these family matters should affect the job you are in. Yeah, but I think they really would, though. You have to remember that this is a dream for most people. They've worked their entire lives to get here. And someone like Aleister Black, the guy is extremely talented. And his Zelina Vega is extremely talented as well. So when this guy is already frustrated that his career isn't going the way that it should be, when he's just sitting in a dark room, and he was literally beating up Leon Ruff every week in like 20 seconds. That's all he was doing. So of course he's frustrated with his creative direction. It's not going anywhere. Then I'm assuming he asked to go back to NXT, where they told him no. Then Finn Balor goes back to NXT when Aleister Black is told no. That's got to be very infuriating right there. And then his wife gets released. Also has to be very infuriating. So I can see how he would be pissed off. I would be pissed off at less. To be honest, I would. I'd be mad if my creative direction was just trash. I don't know, though. It depends on the person. I mean, some people may not mind getting paid 6 figures just to sit there and do nothing. But while others, they want to wrestle. They want to do what they do best. So maybe Aleister Black feels like he's in his prime years, and if he doesn't do it now, he's not going to be able to. I don't know. Logan says 5 a.m. gang. You are crazy, man. 5 a.m. It's not even 9 p.m. for me yet. Big Chicken says no Nakamura tonight. Yeah, unfortunately, there was no Shinsuke Nakamura tonight. Yep. Anna says, which WWE legendary wrestlers will be in this year's Men's Royal Rumble? I would assume Edge and Carlito. Those are my 2 guesses. Rocco says, and you can't forget that his biggest supporter, Paul Heyman, gets fired for whatever he was. That's true. That is true. Logan says, it's not gold counter, Chloe. It's my high school girl. We're both 15. I just sat up all night listening to your stuff because it's. Oh, hold on. It's
such good shit.
Oh, okay. Good to know, man. Good to know. Thank you. I appreciate that. A lot. That's awesome. Thank you so much. Thank you. It's still crazy to me that we do these post shows. I enjoy them so much. So I'm glad that you guys tune in. I really am. It's a lot of fun. I'm actually going to do a Royal Rumble prediction video next week. I think it'll air. My goal is to have it air on Saturday morning. And then when I get back home from doing family stuff, I plan to do a Royal Rumble predictions live stream where we can all talk to each other. Like after you guys watch the video, we can all come in and you guys can get on yours. That's what I'm hoping to have Discord ready to go, because I want to have people to be able to come in and talk about their own predictions and why they think them and stuff like that. I think it'll be a lot of fun. If Aleister Black would black mask Vince and quit, yeah, man, that'd be great. Ray C says, if they don't use you, use their money. That's what Eddie Kingston did when he was in Impact. Then he left and he came back and now he's in AEW. Yeah, I mean, for me, I'm assuming he's just going to sit out his contract. That's what I'm guessing. I don't know how much longer he has in it or anything, but that is my only guess, if I had to guess. At the Superstar Spectacle tapings, they had Nakamura team with heels, so I'm kind of scared about that. I've heard that. Yep. Logan says, it's funny how half of the post shows are just catching up and talking about other stuff instead of most of the show. This is what Vince gets hard for, these good chats. Yeah, I mean, I think it's important to talk to your community and have a community, you know? I wouldn't be having these if it wasn't for you guys tuning in. These shows would probably be really dull if it was just me talking about the shows and my thoughts. It'd probably be like 15 minutes long and then it would be over. So I really like these more intimate settings. I've said it a couple times now, but you know, it's when there's 62,000 people flooding my Instagram all the time, it's hard to remember everyone. It's hard to have conversations with people, but we have 23 people here right now. So it's much easier to remember these names. It's much easier to remember stuff about you guys, have conversations and actually like establish some stuff and have a nice little community. Thanks a lot for tuning in, man. I appreciate it. Hope you have a good rest of your night. Hopefully I will see you for the Monday night post show as well. Thank you for tuning in, my friend. I appreciate it. Rocco says, we can't forget Andrade is also gone. Yes, he is. I hope that he shows up in the Royal Rumble. I haven't heard anything about him though, so I'm not sure. 5 a.m. gang. Yeah, there we go. 5 a.m. gang. The no sleeps, man. Hell yeah. All right, where was I at? Okay, we're actually getting pretty long. So let's try to get through this stuff here. Did you watch a lot of New Japan and Bullet Club stuff before AEW? I've watched a lot of New Japan big stuff. Lots of big stuff. I have watched a lot of Bullet Club stuff. And I've gone back and watched a lot of Wrestle Kingdom stuff as well. No Hack says, I'm pretty sure Andrade got injured. I think he left to have a surgery, but it was not a serious surgery. Not quite sure what it was though, but it wasn't serious. All right, so let's get on here. So next up we had the Intercontinental Championship match with Big E and Apollo Crews. Again, we talked about this earlier. I'm not quite sure why this match happened again. Now they should have waited and had it at the Royal Rumble. But I don't know, maybe these guys will all be in the Royal Rumble and they won't actually have a championship match. This match, of course, ended, like I said earlier, with Sami uncuffing himself from the guardrail, and he ended up coming out and attacking both Big E and Apollo Crews, causing a disqualification in this match. So Big E retains his Intercontinental Championship. A lot of people think that this is going to lead to a triple threat match for the Intercontinental Championship at the Royal Rumble. I wouldn't be mad at it if it did, but I really don't think that we needed to see another Big E and Apollo Crews match. We've already seen one before. It already had some hokey stuff in it as well. So running it back and doing that here, it just wasn't for me. Van says, Andrade is a very good wrestler, dude. He has to be the one to break the no 5-star match streak in WWE. Andrade is my favorite wrestler in WWE, period. I love Andrade. I hope that he comes back at the Royal Rumble. And the rumor is that when he returns, he's going to get a rocket strapped to his back. So I hope that is true. Really, really hope that is true. Logan says, I listened to your post shows while working on my final exams for my final year of school. Oh, thank you, man. Thank you. I hope your final exams go very well. Hope they go very well. Matt says, Drew Gulak still around. Yes, he did. He just lost to the Dream Killer AJ Styles 2 weeks ago because he tried to declare himself for the Royal Rumble. And Adam Pearce was like, nah, bro. Nah, bro. Van says, if many superstars have some heat with the creative team, then doesn't Vince realize that there's definitely something wrong with the creative team? The creative team is Vince and Bruce Pritchard, from what I understand at this point. SmackDown, apparently Daniel Bryan has some sort of say in what's going on SmackDown, and Paul Heyman as well. So maybe that's why it's better over there. Big Chicken says, Murphy gone, but knowing WWE next, he'll lose to Corbin. I think that I saw Murphy on Instagram talking about 205 Live, so maybe he's coming back. Logan says, I'm shitting bricks for my final exams because of COVID. Online school kills. Yeah, I can only imagine, man. That's got to be tough. That has to be really, really tough. Wish you the best of luck, though. You can do it. You can do it. You got it. No problem. Next up, after this segment here, we saw a car segment, I guess. Kevin Owens was sitting in a car saying that he tried to show up for work today, but he was booted out because Roman Reigns apparently had some sort of pull tonight and Kevin Owens could not get in the building, so he had the night off. He had a really good promo here talking about everything and his family and stuff like that. He ended up saying, come Royal Rumble, I'll be the last man standing. Of course, it's Kevin Owens and it's a promo, so it was fantastic. Good stuff, man. Good stuff here. Kevin Owens belongs in this main event scene. He is certainly, I mean, it's hard to say that he's underrated because he's featured a lot and he's in the main event, but Kevin Owens is incredible. Absolutely incredible. Marcel says, holy shit, you're still going. We go forever here, man. Go forever. Yeah, usually about 2 hours. 2 hours. Dude said, I'm shitting bricks. Yeah, man. When it gets rough out there, you gotta shit the bricks. Gotta shit the bricks. You're welcome, man. You're welcome anytime. Anytime. Next up, we saw the oh god, this obstacle course, man. This obstacle course thing between Bayley and Bianca Belair. I was dreading seeing this, to be honest. I did not want to see this whatsoever. I was not looking forward to this. I thought it was going to be terrible. And I ended up not hating it, to be honest. It was a little goofy, but Bayley in her current form is pretty goofy as well. So I didn't mind. Bayley ended up finishing the course in about like 1 minute and 12 seconds or something like that, I believe. And then it was time for Bianca Belair to do hers. So Bayley kind of skipped a lot of things. She took a long time to lift the tire. She had little tiny things that she had to jump over that, I mean, they were small, very small. She went around the wood pillar things that you're supposed to jump over. And then on the other side of the ring, you're supposed to lift up Chad Gable in a fireman carry position and walk the entire length of the ring, drop him off. Once you do that, you pick up a basketball and put it in the hoop. And once the basketball goes in the net, it is over, the timer stops. So Bayley did like 1 minute and 12 seconds or something around there. I don't remember to be exact. But before Bianca Belair went, Bayley made some changes to things. So instead of the little things to hop over, she actually brought in pretty decent sized like hurdles almost to jump over. Bianca Belair lifted that tire with no problem. Like literally just flipped it over, no problem. Jumped over the hurdles, no problem. Got over the wooden walls with no problem either. And then when she got to Chad Gable, things changed up a little bit as well, because your boy Otis popped up from behind the steel steps and she had to fireman's carry him the length of the ring and not Chad Gable. And I was like, there's no way. There's no way. There's no way she can lift him up. Otis climbed up the steps, climbed on her shoulders, and it looked like she carried him with ease. The whole thing. Dropped him down, put the basketball in the hoop, and she won. She won. Of course, I think everyone saw this outcome. And then, of course, Bayley was upset, so she attacked Bianca Belair. So, no problems with this. I actually thought it was pretty good. I guess it kind of fits in as well with what Bianca's been doing with those little vignettes, those little videos of her saying that she's the EST, where she's on the track, she's doing hurdles, she's doing all sorts of stuff. Titus O'Neil would beat both of their times. Yeah, there you go. They need to watch Bobby Lashley do it. Oh God, man. That left such a bad taste in my mouth after seeing that. This segment is classic WWE, 100%. Yeah. Nice throwback to the first season of NXT, yes. Matt says vignettes are nice if they lead to something. Paul Ellering versus Iron Sheik with Persian Cubs, for instance. I haven't seen that. That's a little before my time. Anthony says Bianca's back must be very sweaty from Otis. Yeah, probably. Big Chicken says, wait, when did Nakamura announce his entry for the Rumble? I think quite a while ago. I think he's one of the first few to announce his entrance, or his entry, if you will, into the Royal Rumble. Next up, we saw Dominic Mysterio taking on King Corbin. This match was actually really short. This was a really, really short match. King Corbin essentially squashed Dominic Mysterio. And if you guys remember last week, King Corbin beat up Rey Mysterio as well. After the match, Rey and Dominic were talking, and Rey said, oh, we can't beat up big bad Baron Corbin. We can't beat up the king like that. He's too big for us. He's just too big. We need to send in for reinforcements, and I know just the perfect guy. But Dominic was like, nah, bro, I got this. So Dominic tried to go out there, and it didn't quite work. So now they're going to go Daddy's route, and I believe this is where Damian Priest comes in. So next week, mark your calendars for Friday, because I believe that Damian Priest will be making his SmackDown debut. Baron Corbin versus Damian Priest is kind of odd, because they are kind of the same person, if you think about it. So this is the Spider-Man meme come to life, where you have those two Spider-Mans just standing there pointing at each other. That's what I get from this. So Obi James says he's just too big. Rey has been facing big people for his whole career. That's what I don't get. Like, Rey Mysterio has faced the Big Show and stuff, and Baron Corbin's not the size of the Big Show. Rey Mysterio's always been the little guy fighting big people. So this whole thing doesn't make any sense. And why Rey Mysterio and Damian Priest are friends, I have no idea. I have no idea. Van says Nia Jax versus Carlito and an I Quit match. Carlito winning everyone's dream. Man, that would make Carlito the best person in the world. He's already almost the best person in the entire world, I believe, at this point anyway. So that would just be incredible. Logan says King Corbin. I actually like him as a talent. He needs to drop the King gimmick and repeated matches. I agree. I really like King Corbin, but, well, I really like Baron Corbin. Sorry. The King gimmick is terrible and has stayed way beyond its welcome. He's got amazing moves. He's really good at matches. I say it all the time, he really gets the shit end of the stick for anything that he does. He's in terrible feuds that make no sense, and they're dragged out for so long. He's pouring dog food over people. It's really bad. It's really bad. So next up is our main event of the night. Everyone was so excited to see everyone's favorite authority, not so authority figure, Adam Pearce, take on Paul Heyman. Adam Pearce made his way to the ring and was awaiting the arrival of Paul Heyman. Paul Heyman got ringside, and he ended up stubbing his toe. Tripped and fell over or something. I don't know. He fell over a couple times, though, and this man, he was clearly not in the state of mind that he needed to be in. There's no way that this man was medically cleared to wrestle tonight. So, of course, the card is always subject to change. So, Roman Reigns took his spot in the main event tonight. I led to this earlier. I knew that this was going to happen. This is why Roman Reigns started off the show talking about how he's not a little bitch, how he didn't even think about card subject to change because he shows up for work. He said that the only time he hasn't is when there was a global pandemic and he had to worry about the life of his family and his children. So he's not a little bitch, essentially. So they flipped the script on Adam Pearce tonight. I think everyone pretty much saw that coming after the beginning. Roman beat the hell out of Adam Pearce for a little bit, went over and tossed him to the side, and then a hooded man came out and started attacking Roman Reigns. And you guessed it, that is right, that man's was Kevin Owens. This was fantastic as well, because typically we usually see Roman Reigns being the one to dominate everything and run the show, but Kevin Owens was actually working Reigns very well, beat the living hell out of him. And to close out the show, he stunned this man's multiple times, by the way. Beat the hell out of him even when he was being pulled back by other officials. And he ended up ending the show hitting a pop-up powerbomb and put Roman Reigns through the announce table. So as the show goes off of the air tonight, this is what you see on this topic image here. Roman Reigns laid out with Kevin Owens standing tall. This was great. This was great. I think this is the first time that we've really seen Roman be down and out. So I really enjoyed this. And like I said earlier, this feud continues to go on. I think we're on month 3 now, but I'm still excited to see what happens. I mean, I know that Kevin Owens is going to lose, obviously. I'm hoping that, you know, we always see a Jey Uso interference. So maybe Kevin is going to have some sort of backup, or he's going to be prepared for Jey. But what I'm hoping is that we will have Jimmy Uso return. So now we'll have both Usos. The bloodline will be formed in its entirety, and then with all 3 of them back together being a heel faction, we can have that new music debut that they've been talking about for Roman Reigns for so long. I think that would be fantastic. And you know, they've updated his attire enough to make it work. So with the new music, I think it'd be killer. I think it would be absolutely killer. Anthony says, now that is how a show should end. Yeah, I have no problems with the ending to tonight's show. All of the Roman Reigns stuff tonight was perfect. Absolutely loved it. They knocked it out of the park, as they usually do. I feel like most of creative is just centered around Roman. So I feel like they just build the show around that, and then they kind of just go with whatever on the other parts. It was great to see Cesaro get a second win. It would have been nice to see Shinsuke Nakamura, but I'm not mad at that. Hopefully that will carry over next week. Hopefully we'll see something with Nakamura. I talk about this all the time, but you don't really need to feature the same people every single week on the show. So I'm not too worried about Nakamura not being on the show. If he's not on it next week, or he starts taking a bunch of L's or something, then obviously, you know, something's up. But overall, I thought it was a pretty decent show. Pretty decent show overall. Cannot complain about that. Anthony says, what I think would happen is KO will injure Jey, that he would not be able to be at the Royal Rumble. Very possible. Very possible. And then Jey said that Jimmy Uso is about to return whenever. So he should be here at any point now. So hopefully it's at the Royal Rumble. Matt says, Alistair saving Roman because he hates KO. New feud, protect Roman, set up WrestleMania and after. Maybe. I don't really see that happening though. I'm not sure. I don't see Alistair coming up and being that high up. I really don't even see Alistair coming to return at all, to be honest. Logan says, I'm going to bed. Good stream. Have a good rest of your night. Thank you, my friend. Thank you so much. Good luck on your exams as well. We're about to just wrap everything up here anyways. It's been just over 2 hours, and we are now done with the show. Vance says, my Wi-Fi dropped, by the way. If you missed, then a popular opinion. R-Truth is immortal. He really is. I'm curious to see where R-Truth has been. We haven't seen R-Truth in the 24/7 championship in quite a while. No complaints about not seeing the 24/7 championship, but it's very interesting. Very, very interesting. So yeah, that's going to do it for me tonight, guys. That is a wrap. Thank you all for tuning in. You know, I'm gonna be on that game grind. That game grind. If you any gamers in here, we're gonna start streaming. I'm gonna start posting games more often. I've been playing Overwatch a lot with my buddy. Might be streaming some Overwatch later tonight. I'm not sure, but if you want to check it out, that is the link to that over there. I think, maybe we will do a Q&A this Sunday. Maybe we'll do a Q&A this Sunday, Q&A live stream this Sunday. And then I'm going to release a stream schedule for next week, because there's a lot of stuff going on. There's a lot of stuff. Raphael says, I've actually been watching your Luigi's Mansion playthrough. Oh, Luigi's Mansion was so much fun, dude. So much fun. I loved that game. And now I need to go through and play Breath of the Wild. Really need to play Breath of the Wild so bad. I will get to that. But yeah, so let's do a Q&A stream on Sunday, probably around 7 p.m. Pacific Standard Time. And then on Monday, I will release a schedule for all of the shows that will be going on for next week, because it's going to be a busy week. So thank you all for tuning in. Hopefully I will catch some of you on the gaming channel sometime when I'm over there. Thank you for tuning in, and I will see you on Sunday for your Q&A. Peace.